Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Phoenix 198720 here to talk to you about the top 10 games that we would like to see come back to the Nintendo Switch. And first, I'm starting off with 1080 Snowboarding, which was a phenomenal game on the Nintendo 64. It was a beautiful game. It may age not as great right now, but with the graphics today, 1080 Snowboarding could be one of the best sports games to return to the Nintendo Switch, which makes it a fun game, a multiplayer game. You got the half pipe, you got racing, you got time travel. Now you think that today with modern technology, it would have been off the hook, which I'm not saying wouldn't be wrong, but it'd be something Nintendo should look at. Nintendo should see. And that is the fun part, because we love to all to have that back. Love to see that. So anyways, I'm going to go on to game number 2. My next game on my list of top 10 to be remade is the Sightbike 64. I know it's another sports game, guys. Not gonna lie, there's some great games, and they left the Sightbike series behind on the 64. They could have brought it over to the Wii, the Wii U. Even right now, they could have brought it over to Nintendo Switch. Nintendo doesn't really have any many dirt bike games for their Nintendo Switch, which is kind of sad, because these games were fun, at least back in on the N64 days. And you're not gonna go wrong with this. This is a fun game, and Nintendo could probably move 5-10 million copies around the world. It's like a forgotten series, and who wouldn't want Sightbike 64 back? Well, I'm gonna go on to my next video, guys. My next game that I'm showing right now is a classic for the Super NES, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. And what can you go wrong with that? That was a classic on the Super NES. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably put in thousands of hours on this game growing up, and I consider it today one of the best games there ever was for at least the Turtle series. I loved it. A lot of people I know loved it, and it was fun. It was great, and you can't go wrong with that at all. Who can go wrong with Turtles, man? Not me. And that's one game that I've heard people say I wish they would do a remake, a remaster to today's graphics, and how fly that game would be. They did it with Final Fantasy VII. They should be able to do it with Turtles in Time. Man, that was a classic, and I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. The multiplayer was awesome, and the story was just great. And you can't go wrong with that. So let's get going here, and I'll show you a little bit of gameplay, what I'm talking about. Like, I know the graphics on it probably not the greatest, and I know old school gamers would probably agree that's one of the funnest. New school gamers would say this is way outdated and not aged. New school gamers don't know what games look like unless they're 4K graphics and everything like that. But this is a classic, and you can't go wrong with a classic. So I'm going to move on to my next game here. The next game I'm going to be showing that I wish I was a remake, and I know a lot of you guys wish it was remade, was Super Mario RPG for the Super NES, which was made by Squaresoft and Nintendo. And I know a lot of you guys been screaming that they wish this game would be remastered. I've never personally played this myself, just because I never was able to get a copy of this when I was younger. But if they remastered this game, how dope would that be? If Nintendo and Square Enix said, you know what, this game would be dope, this game would be fly as hell, man, that game would probably move I don't know, 30, 40 million copies because I hear it everywhere I go. I wish they would remaster this game. And I know Square Enix in a few days here are going to do their presentation. They're going to announce a whole shit of games to be announced. Maybe they heard the fans and they say, you know what, we're going to remaster this game. Upgrade the graphics to probably Mario Odyssey graphics. Be awesome. But as fans, and I know of fans, they're going to be waiting to see. And I'm hoping that the fans get the answer for this one, because this game would be dope as hell. And I'm not gonna lie, so that's one of my next games, so I'm gonna move on to the next. The next game I'm gonna be talking about would be a good old Super NES classic, which would be Zombies Ate My Neighbor. Growing up, I remember putting thousands of hours in this game. It was the funnest game at the time. And you probably hear me say that a couple times, because all these games I'm showing to you were one of the best games ever come out for a Nintendo system. And it was dope. It was fun, and you can't go wrong with that. Oh, it's an amazing game. It is. You're saving your neighbors, you're shooting zombies. It probably was like one of the classic games, and you can't go wrong with this. As a zombie game, man, I swear to God, Call of Duty Zombies took a couple lessons off this game. So yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors would be an awesome, phenomenal game in this day of age. And I'm not gonna lie about that at all. So we're gonna move on to my next game. Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. How dope would that be if we got that on today's consoles, on the Nintendo Switch? Even if they upgraded to the Link's Awakening graphics, that would be awesome. But if they pushed it to the Breath of the Wild graphics, then right there and that, you probably sell 15 million copies easily. Old school Zelda fans would say this is one of the best Zelda games there was at the time, and probably would say it's one of the best Zelda games ever. Me, I love playing this game. I love doing the rundown. I love doing everything with this game. And today I still play the game. And I know you can get this game for the Super NES app, but how dope, how holy shitballs would this game be out now? So I'm gonna move on to my next game, Skate or Die. Skate or Die. How dope would be Skate or Die come to its latest console, come to the Nintendo Switch? I know we're getting Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered, and I know we're getting Skater XL, but Skate or Die was a classic for the NES, and I remember playing hours of this when I was a lot younger, and it was fun. It was challenging. It wasn't as easy like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was. It was hard. And but this coming back out for the Nintendo Switch, upgraded, it will definitely move like 5-6 million copies. And old school gamers would really appreciate this. So I hope they do a remake or remastered of this game. I don't care how many games they poured over to the Nintendo Switch. A lot of them are awesome. A lot of them are great. But I'm gonna move on to my next game. So let's go. Okay, 64, Donkey Kong 64. I've heard thousands of people say this game should be remastered. It should be brought in back life. It should be given another chance. This game was underrated, but considered one of the best Donkey Kong to date. It had great music and great gameplay, and you can't deny that at all. And it was good. It was a great game, and I hear fans screaming for the game. I hear fans yelling for this game. that they should remaster it. They should bring it back. They should do everything they can to get this game back. And I know Rare owns this game and the creator of it, but I know they've been bought by Microsoft, but it wouldn't be hard to make a deal to give this game a second life. Breathe in a second life for this game. So I'm hoping that Nintendo does make a deal or something like that to get it. But how dope would that be if they announce that for Donkey Kong's anniversary game? Even if they give us just this game, it would be awesome. So I'm gonna move on to my next game. This is my second last game that I'm gonna be talking about. And yes, it is a Rare game, developed by Rare. And it's probably one of the games that are highly requested come out on the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't matter that this game was remade for the Nintendo Wii, it never took off. This game right here, 007 Goldeneye, was a classic, not only for multiplayer, but for single player mode as well. And with today's graphics, how smooth it would run, how smooth it would look, and how much more detail you could get in. And this was a classic. You can't go wrong with 007 Goldeneye. It featured a lot of characters from the film. It featured pretty much everything that James Bond did in the movie. And it's probably one of the, I'm not gonna lie, one of the best. Me and my buddies, we used to play this game for hours and hours and hours. Especially multiplayer, you get that paintball guns going on and you get anything else. They were classic stages. Everything was classic. And I understand that the new generation would be like, man, this game sucks. Why was this game so hype? Well, you want to know why it was hype? Because it's one of the damn best shooters out there, guys. If it wasn't for this game coming out, then you might have not got all these other games, because this laid the foundation for every shooter out there, for multiplayer shooters, for storyline. And it was done by, this game was developed by 11 people. None of them never ever designed a game in their life. But it's considered the greatest shooter out there, ever. So they did something right. You can't go wrong with this game. The green graphics probably didn't age that well, but you know what? I still know millions of people that play this game. They throw on their N64 and they keep going. But I'm going to move on to my final game here. Our next game is Ghostbuster. What? Ghostbuster in the top 10? Who the hell put that up there? I don't think this is a game. Oh my WTF. And my final game that should be remastered and remade, and is one of the lovest games ever to come out, is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Fans have been screaming, and I mean screaming, for this game to be remastered. It is the best Zelda game that I've ever seen come out. I put thousands of hours into this. The cinematic cutscenes they had here were fresh. The storyline was amazing. And believe it or not, and a lot of people miss this is one of the saddest Zelda games ever. And you have 3 different choices. You're unaware of these choices until after you beat the game. But there's 3 timelines. Where you succeed as a kid, where you fail as an adult, where you succeed as an adult, and guess what? Doesn't matter if you succeed as an adult, you lose everything in the end, because guess what? You get put back as a kid prior to you, right after you just leave the forest. And that's when Majora's Mask comes into play. But Ocarina of Time, the dungeons in it were phenomenal. The bad guys, the level of hardness was right on par. And the storyline, mwah, it was beautiful. And you can't get nothing wrong with that. So guys, this is my top 10 list for games I would love to see remastered. And I want to know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys agree with my top 10 games that should be remastered for the Nintendo Switch? Or is there other games that you guys want to see? If there's other games you want to see, put them in the comments below, and I will do a video on them. I will do everything that I can for those videos. So until next time, this is Phoenix 198720 saying I hope you guys have a good morning, a good evening, and a good afternoon. I love y'all. Peace.